Bayou St. John might just be the most charming waterfront neighborhood in New Orleans. On the surface, it looks perfect. You've got water views, live music, and historic homes. But is it really the right neighborhood for you? Today, I'm breaking down all the pros and cons of living here. From the festivals and food to the traffic, flooding, and even everyday quirks of Bayou St. John. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether Bayou St. John is the neighborhood that fits your lifestyle. Hey, and welcome to Living in New Orleans. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in New Orleans and the surrounding neighborhoods, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. My name is Margaret, and I was born right here in New Orleans. My business partner and husband, Bernard, and I love helping people make their move to New Orleans. Whether that's in 9 days or 90 days, we'd love to help you. All of our contact info is in the description below. One of the biggest perks of Bayou St. John's is simple: the bayou itself. You don't just look at it, you live with it. People paddleboard, kayak, and fish right from the banks. On weekends, the bayou turns into a community gathering space. You'll see joggers, parents with strollers, and families spreading out picnic blankets. Then, of course, there are the sunsets. When the light hits the water just right, you'll understand why so many people fall in love with this neighborhood. It's not just living near water, it's about living with the water. Another major pro is City Park, which is literally steps away. Imagine having 1,300 acres of green space, museums, and activities right at your doorstep. You've got the Botanical Garden, the Sculpture Garden, the New Orleans Museum of Art, tennis courts, golf, even a mini amusement park. If you're into jogging or biking, there are trails everywhere. For families, it's a dream because you can go from feeding the ducks to riding the carousel in a single afternoon. Most neighborhoods in New Orleans don't have this kind of backyard. And if you're a music lover, it doesn't get better than this. The fairgrounds, home of the legendary Jazz Fest, is just a quick bike ride away. Instead of worrying about parking or traffic, you can stroll to the festival. For locals, that's priceless. And I'll tell you from experience, being able to see world-class musicians practically in your backyard is something that never gets old. Yes, the crowds can be big, but when you're walking home while everyone else is stuck in traffic, you'll appreciate the convenience. And Jazz Fest isn't the only festival. Bayou St. John has its own Bayou Boogaloo. This one is smaller, more intimate, and it happens right on the water. Stages are set up along the bayou, food vendors line the streets, and people literally float out in boats to listen to the music. It feels more like a giant neighborhood party than a citywide event. If you're someone who loves that community energy, Bayou Boogaloo will probably become one of your favorite weekends of the year. One of the reasons Bayou St. John looks so charming is the architecture. Walking these streets, you'll see Creole cottages, colorful shotguns, craftsman bungalows, and raised houses with big front porches. Many of these homes date back to the 1800s. And even if you're just visiting, you can't help but stop and admire the details. The shutters, the balconies, the tall windows, It's the kind of architecture that gives New Orleans its unique character, and Bayou St. John has some of the best examples of it. And of course, the food. Esplanade Avenue and the surrounding streets are filled with great restaurants and cafes. Café des Gars is one of my favorites, a French bistro built around a tree, which feels so New Orleans. Then you've got Thousand Figs, famous for falafel and Mediterranean dishes. And you cannot forget Parkway Bakery, where people line up for poor boys. The best part is that all of this is walkable. You don't have to plan a night out. You just walk a few blocks and you're at one of the city's best spots. One of the lifestyle perks that stands out most is walkability. You can walk to restaurants, coffee shops, yoga studios, and of course the bayou. On a nice day, you'll see bikes everywhere. The Lafitte Greenway bike path connects Bayou St. John to downtown, so you can pedal straight into the French Quarter without worrying about busy streets. For people who are used to driving everywhere, living in a walkable, bike-friendly neighborhood is a huge lifestyle upgrade. Bayou St. John feels like a true neighborhood. You'll find people sitting on their porches, stopping to talk on the sidewalks, or hosting little porch concerts. Festivals add to the sense of community, but even day-to-day life feels connected. It's the kind of place where neighbors know each other, and that's something not every New Orleans neighborhood can offer. If you're looking for a place that feels like home, not just a house, this is one of the biggest pros. Another practical pro, the location. Bayou St. John sits in the middle of the city. You're close to downtown, the French Quarter, Mid-City, and Lakeview. You can get to I-10 in minutes, which makes commuting easier. And you're never far from restaurants, shopping, or entertainment. It's central without being overwhelming, which is a big plus. And finally, the overall vibe. Bayou St. John is lively but not wild, historic but not stuffy, and cultural without being touristy. It's the kind of place where you feel the essence of New Orleans every single day. From the bayou views to the festivals to the quirky little shops, it has a personality all of its own. And that's something you can't put a price on. Now let's get into the cons, because no neighborhood is perfect. First up, the cost. Homes in Bayou St. John are more expensive than the city average. That's the trade-off for charm and location. If you're looking for affordability, this may not be the easiest entry point. Another drawback is inventory. Bayou St. John is small, and homes don't come on the market often. When they do, they usually go fast. So if ever your heart is set on this neighborhood, patience is key. And you'll need to be ready to act quickly when the right opportunity shows up. Traffic and parking can be a headache. Esplanade Avenue and Orleans Avenue carry steady traffic, and during peak times or festivals, parking is tough. If you don't have off-street parking, you'll likely be circling the block for a space. For people used to suburban-style driveways, this can be a frustrating adjustment. And while festivals are fun, they also bring challenges. During Jazz Fest and Bayou Boogaloo, your peaceful neighborhood suddenly feels like Bourbon Street. Streets fill with people, music goes late, and parking disappears. It's exciting if you love the energy, but if you prefer calm weekends, festival season can feel overwhelming. Another con is flooding risks. Being by the water is beautiful, but it comes with responsibility. Flood insurance is usually required, and heavy rains can create pooling water. Since Katrina, things have improved a lot, but water management is still part of daily life here. It's something to budget for and to be realistic about. This is not the quietest part of New Orleans. Between traffic, festivals, and even people playing music on their porches, you'll always hear something. Many residents love that background hum of life, but if you're looking for total silence, Bayou St. John might not give that to you. Some streets blend residential homes with businesses. That can be convenient if you want a cafe or a shop nearby, but it also brings more activity, more cars, and sometimes more noise. Depending on your block, that mix can feel either charming or disruptive. Those historic homes we talked about, they're gorgeous, but they also need care. Roof repairs, termite treatments, and foundation work are common. Owning here means embracing upkeep. If you want something low maintenance, you might find that challenging. Outdoor space is limited. Most homes don't have large yards, and while you have the Bayou and City Park nearby, private outdoor space is smaller than what you'll find in places like Lakeview or Gentilly. And finally, competition. Because the neighborhood is small and in high demand, multiple offers and bidding wars are common. If Bayou St. John is your dream, you'll need to be decisive and realistic about the competition. So that's the full breakdown of Bayou St. John, the pros and the cons. If this neighborhood feels like your kind of place, make sure to check out the next video in this series. That's where I'll walk you through a full map breakdown so you can... No.